Africa. Where is Chad? Officially known as the Republic of Chad, Chad is a country located in northwest Central Africa. Nigeria, the most populous country in Africa. Nigeria accounts for approximately one-sixth of Africa's people. Approximately 50% of Nigerians are urban dwellers. At least 24 cities have populations of more than 100,000. The variety of customs, languages, and traditions among Nigeria's 389 ethnic groups gives the country a cultural diversity. Africa's gold. A reef of gold buried beneath its vast, parched grasslands arcs across some of the world's poorest countries. Where the ore is rich, industrial mines carve it out. Where it's not, the poor sift the earth. People work long hours at often dangerous jobs in hundreds of primitive mines scattered through the West African bush. Some are as young as 4 years old. Diamonds. The 1867 discovery of diamonds in the Cape Colony, now a province in South Africa, radically modified not only the world's supply of diamonds but also its conception of them. And annual world diamond production increased more than tenfold in the following 10 years. The once extremely rare material became more accessible to Western society with its growing out. Science learned that diamonds came from volcanoes, and everyone learned of Cecil John Rowan, Barney Barnard, Kimberley, and Dee. Today, South Africa maintains its position as a major diamond producer. African elephants. African elephants are the largest land animals on Earth. They are slightly larger than their Asian cousins and can be identified by their larger ears that look somewhat like the continent of Africa. Elephant ears radiate heat to help them keep cool. But sometimes the African heat is too much. Elephants are fond of water and enjoy showering by sucking water into their tongues and spraying it all over themselves. Afterwards, the elephants spray their skin with a protective coating of it. An elephant's trunk is actually a long nose used for snoring, breathing, tempting, drinking, and also for gravity, especially if it touches the nose. The trunk alone contains about 100,000 different muscles. Both male and female African elephants have trunks they use for food and water and sticks to bark from trees. Because ivory is so valuable to consumers, many elephants have been killed for their tusks. Elephants eat roots, grasses, fruit, and bark. An adult elephant can consume up to 300 pounds of food in a single day. African birds. South Africa's attraction as a birding destination is one of the world's best kept secrets. Out of more than 820 species, 40 species are from South Africa, Lesotho, and Swaziland, and a further 110 species are endemic to the southern African subcontinent. This makes South Africa one of the most desirable birding areas in Africa, and to this is a well-developed road system and an excellent network of internal air railroads. This is one of the most desirable birding destinations in the world. Mogadishu, Somalia. Mogadishu, Somalia is plagued with civil warfare and violence, and much of this city has gone in ruin. Much of the infrastructure has been destroyed, and many of the residents have fled or reside in refugee buildings. Somalia is a very dangerous country in general, full of constant clan and ethnic warfare. There is a conflict between the Ethiopian and Somali government troops. Residents and visitors are also not safe from random kidnappings and coastal pirates. Mogadishu is the capital of Somalia. The northern section of the city is much more dangerous than the southern, and very few vehicles are allowed to even cross the checkpoints between the two sections. Because of the ongoing civil war that has been active for over 20 years, about half of the city's population has fled. Bombings, gunshots, guerrilla attacks, lootings, and riots are a daily thing in Mogadishu. Dozens of people are injured daily, and hospitals are overcrowded with casualties. Many of those who choose to remain in Mogadishu have ended up in the city's refugee camp. AIDS disease. Sub-Saharan Africa is more heavily affected by HIV and AIDS than any other region of the world. An estimated 22.9 million people are living with HIV in the region, around two-thirds of the global total. In 2010, around 1.2 million people died from AIDS in Sub-Saharan Africa, and 1.9 million people infected with HIV. Since the beginning of the epidemic, 14.8 million children have lost one or both parents to HIV or AIDS. The social and economic consequences of the AIDS epidemic are widely felt, not only in the health sector but also in education, industry, agriculture, transport, human resources, and the economy in general. The AIDS epidemic in Sub-Saharan Africa continues to devastate communities, rolling back decades of development progress. Infant mortality. About 29,000 children under the age of 5 die every day. That's 11 million every year. Some reasons are diarrhea, malaria, infection during birth, pneumonia, or lack of oxygen at birth. An Ethiopian child is 30 times more likely to die by his birth birthday than a child in Western Europe. The majority of deaths are preventable. Some of these deaths occur influences like measles, malaria, or tetanus. Others result from conflict, war, and hate. But many means hunger and the lack of safe water and salination. But disease isn't invincible. 6 million of the 11 million children who are diet every year could be saved by simple measures such as diet, antibiotics, mosquito nets, and disease. Malaria is alive and well and killing more than 3,000 African children every day. More precisely, kills an African child every 30 seconds. Malaria is preventable, treatable, and curable, yet it's the largest killing children of the world. Malaria infects between 300 million and 500 million per every year. Over 60% of the world's population lives in malaria-infected areas. Malaria kills up to 2.7 million people every year, about 7,400 per day. The majority of the victims being children. With acute malaria, a child may die within 24 hours. Over 30% of school absence in Africa is actually due to malaria. Pregnant women and children under 5 are at most at risk because of their weak immune system. Mount Kilimanjaro. Mount Kilimanjaro lies on the border of Tanzania and Kenya, just south of the equator. To the west lies the African Rift Valley, created by tremendous tectonic forces which also gave birth to a string of other volcanoes. One of Mount Kenya was originally much higher than Mount Kilimanjaro. With its 3 volcanic cones, Kaiba Winds and Shira, and the Dodoma volcano in Kilimanjaro National Park, Tanzania, and the highest mountain in Africa, 5,895 meters or above sea level. The Fish River Canyon. The Fish River Canyon is located in the south of Namibia. It's the second largest canyon in the world and the largest in Africa, as well as the second most visited tourist attraction in Namibia. It features a gigantic lagoon in total about 100 miles, 160 kilometers long, up to 27 kilometers wide, and in places almost 550 meters deep. The Fish River is the longest interior river in Namibia. It cuts deep into the plateau, which is dry, stony, and sparsely covered with hardy, drought-resistant plants. Lake Victoria. With a surface area of 68,800 square kilometers, Lake Victoria is Africa's largest lake by area, and it's the largest tropical lake in the world. Lake Victoria is the world's second largest freshwater lake by surface area. In terms of its volume, Lake Victoria is the world's 8th largest continental lake, and it contains about 2,750 kilometers of water. The Nile River. The Nile River is about 6,670 kilometers in length and is the longest river in Africa and in the world. Although it's genetically associated with Egypt, only 22% of the Nile corresponds to Egypt. In Egypt, the Nile creates a fertile green valley across the desert. It was by the banks of the river that one of the oldest civilizations in the world began. The ancient Egyptians lived and farmed along the Nile, using wood and stone in their animals. The Sahara Desert. The Sahara Desert is one of the world's most amazing places. It's also one of the harshest places to live. The desert stretches 3,000 miles across the northern part of Africa. More than 1/4 of the surface is sand dunes, some as high as 100 feet. A handful of mountains can be found in the Sahara, with the summit Mount Keskin at 11,204 feet. The climate of the Sahara Desert is hot and dry. The desert is dominated by strong winds, which blow the sand from place to place, causing the landscape to change regularly. Timbuktu, one of the most famous cities in the world, is being built by the Inca. Many of the houses in Timbuktu are already below ground. Thank you for watching my video about Africa.